Hello students, in this class of ours, before we go on to the studying laws of motion, before we go on to study laws of motion, we will be talking about Aristotle's fallacy and Galileo's remedy of that. This is regarding the motion of a body moving along a straight line. In everyday experiment we see that if a ball is rolling over the surface, after some time it stops. If a child is pushing a car, after traveling some distance it stops. And also, if you shoot an arrow, if an arrow is shot from a bow, after having traveled some distance in the air, it finally falls onto the ground. All these things indicate one thing, that for sustaining the motion of a body along a straight line, as if some external force is required. So that is what was told by Aristotle, and this was a misconception, because later on Galileo proved that yes, to start or to initiate a motion, force is required. If you want to initiate the motion, if you want to start the motion, some external unbalanced force is required. But to maintain the motion along a straight line, a uniform motion along a straight line, you don't have to apply an external force. And for this he carried out some experiments. So that we will see both. Aristotle's fallacy, we have seen that suggestion is this: by looking at the everyday experiments or observations, we find that some external force is required for keeping the body move or for continuing the body's motion along a straight line. But Galileo's experiment showed that we don't have to apply an unbalanced external force for continuing the motion of a body along a straight line, though definitely some unbalanced external force is required for starting the motion. So he carried out two experiments. Galileo carried out two. One was this, that if a ball is rolled down a inclined plane, if you roll it down from the top, it comes down, speed will increase. But if you make the ball to go up the inclined plane, then its speed will decrease. And if a ball is made to move along a straight line, its speed is going to remain constant. Having talked about these three observations he made, and then we will explain this with the help of, here if you keep a ball, and this ball has to come down through the height h, and the distance travelled is s in this case, when this is angle theta say. This is angle theta, this is inclined plane, the height is this and distance is this. This is the distance travelled by the body. Let us say this s, this ball travels distance s when it reaches from A to B, and during this journey distance travelled is this, and the height through which it has fallen is h. Now if immediately after this there is another inclined plane, and this ball starts moving up this, so Galileo observed that this ball will try to reach exactly the same height as it has descended during this journey. And in doing so, if this angle is theta 1, say theta 1, and theta 1 and theta are equal, so again the distance travelled by the body will be exactly same. Height through which it rises is same, and if this theta is equal to this theta and theta 1 are same, that means inclination of this with the horizontal and inclination of this plane with the horizontal is same. Then to achieve height h, the distance that travels this ball travels is s1, which is undoubtedly s is equal to s1. Now we will see another plane. This is inclined to a smaller angle, and let us say this is angle theta, and in this case theta 2, and let us say angle theta 2 is less than angle theta which was equal to angle theta 1. Now Galileo's observation was that if this ball is moving along this plane where the angle theta 2 is less than angle theta, undoubtedly it will rise to the same height. But since the angle of inclination of this plane with the horizontal is smaller than the angle of inclination of this plane with the horizontal, if this is smaller, then to achieve same height it has to travel more distance. Now Galileo further Imagine, okay, if we make this a plane straight line and the plane there is no inclination left. So if ball is left from here, it will fall through height h, will travel distance s, and it will try to achieve same height h. But there is no chance of achieving height h because there is no inclination provided for the ball to go up. The line is straight. So in order to achieve height, this will keep on traveling infinite distance to achieve that height. So with this experiment, he concluded that if a ball is moving along a straight line, then to continue its motion along the straight line, no external unbalanced force has to be applied. That was just required to initiate the motion. And his experiment, see, you can definitely conclude that when the angle of inclination kept on decreasing, since the ball was to rise through the same height through which it has fallen, and the inclination was decreasing, so at every consecutive step the distance travelled was farther and farther. It travelled more and more distance. So if there is no inclination, that is, a line is made to straight, that means in order to achieve same height, which of course it will never be able to achieve because we have not provided any inclined plane, we are making to move it straight line, we are making it to move along a straight line, but it will try to achieve the height. In order to achieve the height through which it has fallen, same height it will try to achieve, it will keep on moving. So for a body's motion along a straight line, we don't have to apply any external force, it will carry on moving on its own. And having said this, now in the next class of ours, we will study first law, second law and third law of motion.